It's the Archivest, y'all. Exclusively interviewing Dee-1.
Yeah.
And who is Dee-1?
Dee-1 is the one-man army, the hip-hop artist from New Orleans, the man that's on a mission to entertain people, yet inspire them at the same time with his music, you know? I'm not trying to make the type of hip-hop that's gonna cause people to, you know, go out and want to kill somebody or want to go sell drugs. I'm trying to make the type of hip-hop that's going to make somebody want to go out and get money and go out and really, you know, achieve their dreams and just become a better person overall. That's me.
Tell us about Baton Rouge.
Baton
the hip-hop
Rouge.
scene out there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm from New Orleans, and Baton Rouge is like 1 hour away. So I moved to Baton Rouge when I started going to college. I went to LSU, and that's when I first started rapping, is when I moved to Baton Rouge. And I had to get a fan base in Baton Rouge before I even had one in my home city of New Orleans, you know. Baton Rouge, they really like their own local, you know, sound, their own local music. So I didn't even really fit into what they did locally at first, but I think eventually they just realized that, all right, Dee-1 is different, but it's still dope, so they could rock with it. So I got love for Baton Rouge. That's like my second home.
And your 3 mixtapes. It's only the beginning, Still We Rise, and I Am Who I Am, as well as now, I Hope They Hear Me, Volume 1 and 2. Volume 2 now just released. How they've been pushing for you.
Well, before this most recent mixtape, you know, I'm that guy who used to do music, go to the club or go to the spot and get on the, you know, hop on the microphone if it was an open mic or a talent show. Pretty much, I would do anything I could to just get in front of the microphone. So I was always really trying to come up, and I'm still trying to come up. But on this one, I started making some noise, got like some videos on MTV, started to do a lot more shows outside of Louisiana, and I had some national artists actually reach out to me. So that's why these collabs happen. I collabed with Murs from the West Coast. He reached out, so we got a real dope song together. Collaborated with Manny Fresh. That's a hometown hero from New Orleans. He heard the noise I was making and the buzz that I had, and he was like, dude, like, I'm ready to work with you. You know, I actually met Fresh like 5 years ago in the AutoZone. And the way I met him was, like, I walked up to him and I was like, man, how you doing? I'm Dee-1. This is my CD, man. You know, trying to just give him the old 1-2 combo and get him to look at my mixtape and listen to it and want to sign me. And he never called me after that. You know what I'm saying? So I came a long way from AutoZone to Fresh calling me and saying, man, I want to do some beats for you, you know, and I want to work with you. So got those collabs popping, man. You know, other than that, I'm open to collabing with anybody, man. Anybody that's making like real music and that's making a buzz and making noise that just, you know, pushes the boundaries creatively. Like, I'm not just trying to just do a collab just because, but if it's something that makes sense, then definitely.
And tell us about your album, David and Goliath.
David and Goliath, that was my first studio album. I put that out in 2009, and to this day, you know, people are still asking about it. It's on iTunes, so a lot of people who are just hearing my name for the first time, they all go back and they're like, man, I gotta get that David and Goliath, because I did that while I was teaching middle school. You know, I was a middle school teacher that year, and I was like the Clark Kent / Superman of hip-hop, because I was Mr. Augustine during the day and Dee-1 after school, you know what I'm saying? So I put a lot into that album. That's when I first wrote the song J50 and Weezy that really took off, you know, 2 years later. That was the first time in hip-hop that I felt like, all right, I think I could really make it, you know? Like, it was always just a hobby before, but when I did that album and when I saw the way people responded to it, I was like, dang, I think I could really make it. And that's when I decided to stop teaching, you know, after I put that album out, and I was like, dang, if I had more time to really put towards, you know, being an artist, I think I could really go somewhere.
And tell us about your collab with the Hip Hop Doc and being featured on CNN.
Yeah, the Hip Hop Doc, that's crazy how that came about, man. I was performing in Baton Rouge, and there's this doctor out there. He calls himself the Hip Hop Doc, and one night he saw me perform, and he was like, man, he wanted to come and buy a mixtape after he saw me perform. And he was like, D, I'm a doctor, and I try to use hip-hop to get a health-conscious message out there to kids. But, you know, he told me he couldn't really rap, but he wanted to use hip-hop to do it, you know, because he's like in his 40s. and he was like, I see what you do, and I see like what you stand for and everything, and I think that'd be dope if we could somehow collab what we do. So we talked about it, and we wound up working together, man. We actually did 2 albums where I would write these songs about topics that he had to address every day as a physician, as a doctor, like diabetes, heart disease, drinking and driving, drug abuse, all this type of stuff. And I would write songs about it using his guidance or whatever, and then we put like 2 albums out together, about this. And we got videos, and since he's a doctor, CNN was real interested in like, what's this doctor who's rapping about healthy issues, and they came out and they covered us, and that was great, man.
And doing a song for the New Orleans Saints theme song with the trumpet player Shamar Allen, Bring 'Em to the Dome. Let us know how that went for you.
Yeah, me and my boy Shamar back home in New Orleans, this is before the year when the Saints won the Super Bowl. This is before the season even started. We were just sitting at his crib, and we do a lot of recording together and a lot of music. So we're like, man, it's time for the Saints to have a new theme song. They've been having the same old, who that said they gonna beat them Saints since I was born pretty much. And we're like, it's time for them to have something new for the home games to get the whole city, fired up and riled up. So we came up with this song, Bring 'Em to the Dome. And we put it out right before the season started. And who would have known that the Saints started off like 10-0 or 11-0, and the city was just going crazy. Everybody was on fire. And this song, we put it on YouTube, and it just started getting more and more hits, man. ESPN called us, they came out and they did a feature on us. They did like an article on us and all this type of stuff. And the song really became like one of the main theme songs that year that they won the Super Bowl. So eventually they won the Super Bowl. We would have never known, and almost 1 million YouTube views later, bam, Dee-1, Bring 'Em to the Dome with Shamar Allen.
And it's my turn. The track has received positive criticism from XXL and 2 Dope Boys.
Yeah. It's my turn. That's the theme song for 2011. That's how I feel right now. For everybody who been grinding since 05, 06, 07, way back then, and you feel like, man, I've been putting in work for years. This year, it's my turn. That's how I feel, and that's what that song is about, and I got the video for that song popping on MTV Jams right now, and people just feeling it, man. I'm probably going to perform that joint tonight at the show, you dig?
And opening for Juvenile, Big Boy, Lil Boozy, Fat Joe, The Clips, The Roots, Akon, Lil Wayne, Drake, Lupe Fiasco. Man, that's incredible.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just a blessed young man, because I'm not signed to like a major label or anything. So for me to be able to open up for all those artists is just a product of grind and hustle. And I think that's why I'm on the grind and hustle tour. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is, man. Like, some people, they get handouts their whole career, and people just open doors for them. And other people, they grind and they hustle.
What's your way of grinding and hustling when you first started to where you're at now?
Oh, it's simple.
What's the trick?
It's simple. The biggest barrier in my career is just to get people to listen. That's why I call my CD, I Hope They Hear Me. That's why I say it like that, because I really hope people hear me, because once they hear me, once they see me perform, I feel like the rest is history. Like, they'll be like, okay, Dee-1 is the truth, like, let me go research him, let me get him over here, whatever. So all I did my whole career was just try to get people to pay attention and notice me. So if I had to bombard somebody's talent show, if I had to go, and perform for free somewhere and drive, an hour away from where I stayed just to hop on stage for 10 minutes, I would do it, because I knew it would pay off.
And the biggest crowd you've ever rocked?
Biggest crowd I ever rocked was okay. At my college, LSU in Baton Rouge, I actually opened up for Akon. I was the first hip hop artist to ever win this contest called Battle of the Bands, and as the prize, it was always rock bands who would win every year. So here I come, hip hop artist, and I whipped out a live band on them and everything, and I won the contest. And the prize was you got to open up for Akon. So at the Akon concert, man, had to be about 8,000 people, and that's the biggest crowd I ever rocked, man.
And your best Southern hip-hop memory you've been part of or contributed to?
When I was in the studio with Manny Fresh, you know, I took a minute to just sit back and be like, wow. Like, I grew up listening to Cash Money records, you know, all day, every day. I could recite all that old music and just sitting there like, dang, like, this what's up, man. Like, Fresh is in there right now, you know, hopping on one of my songs. And it just felt good. Trying to make dreams come true right now. You heard me?
And let us know what else is coming out you got.
Alright. My bad. This disc right here, man, I hope y'all get a good look at it. It's called I Hope They Hear Me Volume 2, you heard me? This is a free album. It's an album, you know, 100% original music. I mean, from top to bottom, man, this comes from the depths of my soul I put into this. And I put it out for free. So people could go to Dee-1music.com and download this thing, you know, to click of one button. So that's DEE1music.com. So you could expect this for a while, man. I'm going to push this. And in the meantime, I'm back in the studio. You know, I'm working on more music, touring out here in Vancouver tonight, you know. Got my passport on deck, all that good stuff, man. Shout out to the customs people. They try to hack me and my people up for about 5 hours today, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if all the other people you interviewed had to go through that, but yeah, man, so we here though, you know what I mean?
And you got anything to say to Canada?
Yeah, Canada. I've been getting a lot of love from Canada on Twitter and on Facebook and everything, so I'm glad I could actually, like, connect with y'all face to face. And, I mean, lastly, hopefully everybody on there can just understand that I'm not just every other rapper, you know, who you hear about, who you see every day. I'm really not, man. I just want people to connect with me, look me right in my eyes and be like, all right, you know, I really feel where that dude's coming from, you know, like he has a mission, he has a message. Like I said, I'm not here to poison people's lives or anything like that, and I'm not here to preach to people as well. I'm just putting out good music. I'm very direct, you know what I'm saying? So I know what I'm here for, which is to put out great music that you're going to bang, but also it's the same type of music that's going to inspire you to say, dang, this is what's up, man. This makes me want to be a better person or go out and hustle a little harder, you dig?
And you got any shouts?
Yeah. Shout out to my man Mike Lace. Shout out to New Orleans 504, my mama. You know what I mean? Hey man, I was joking when I said shout out to my mom, but on some real stuff, like, my family is really excited right now, you know what I mean? And I think that's cool too. Like, they saw where I started from, and for them to see that now it's starting to work out, you know, like that's really exciting, man. So I'm just glad my people proud of me, you know what I mean? And other than that, shout out to whoever watching this.
And shouts to Grand Hustle, Chronicle, JMP, and this is the Archivest, and you already know the name, y'all.
For sure, homie. Dee-1, the one-man army. Wow.